Good evening. I'm Janet Chandler with the Cullman Tribune, and I'm here to read you a bedtime story. Tonight I'm going to read from Disney 5-minute Halloween stories. Tonight I'm reading from Disney Pixar Monsters, Inc. It's the scariest day ever. James P. Sullivan and his best friend, Mike Wazowski, were on scare duty at Monsters, Inc. Sully stepped through a door and looked around. There was no one there. Mike, Sully said, poking his head back through the door. This room's empty. What are you talking about? Mike said, shoving past Sully into the room. This kid's always asleep by now. Sully shrugged. I guess we should go back to Monstropolis. I've got lots of other kids to scare tonight. But as Sully turned toward the door, his tail knocked it shut. Meanwhile, on the scare floor, George Sanderson and his right-hand man, Charlie, were working the same neighborhood as Mike and Sully. They saw an activated door, but no one appeared to be manning it. Huh, Charlie said when he saw the unmanned door. Looks like Mike and Sully accidentally left this one on. We'd better turn it off, George said. It isn't safe to leave a door to the human world active. Back in the human world, Sully reopened the closet door, but when he did, all he saw was the inside of the closet. The door back to the scare floor isn't working, said Sully. We're going to have to find another house with a working door, and fast. Mike and Sully crept through the house and stepped outside. Remember, Sully said, don't touch anything. Mike nodded. All the monsters knew humans were toxic. But as he looked around, he realized he didn't see any humans. Instead, the streets were full of monsters. What's going on? Mike asked, scratching his head. Are we back in Monstropolis? Suddenly, Mike and Sully heard a voice behind them. They spun around. A small monster was standing there, peering up at them. I like your costumes, she said before running off. Mike and Sully looked at each other. Costumes? What could possibly be going on? Mike and Sully looked back at the street. They weren't the only monsters walking around. They also saw a ghost, a black cat, a pumpkin with legs, and all kinds of other creatures. Suddenly, one of the monsters pulled off its face. Mike and Sully gasped. It wasn't a monster after all. It was a child wearing a mask. They weren't back in Monstropolis. They were surrounded by human children wearing disguises. Sully did his best to stay calm. We have to find a door back to Monsters, Inc. now, he said. George is working this neighborhood tonight, too, Mike said. If we can catch one of his doors in time, we can get back through. Mike and Sully tried to find a way inside one of the nearby houses, but it wasn't easy. They had to dodge children left and right, and there were people at the front doors of almost all the homes. Mike and Sully managed to sneak into a few houses, but none of the doors inside were powered up. In one house, they got to the bedroom just as George was leaving. George! Mike and Sully shouted, racing for the open closet door. Wait for us! But they weren't fast enough. George hadn't heard them. Click. The door closed behind him. Mike and Sully opened the closet door, but there was no scare floor behind it, just a closet filled with children's clothing. Mike and Sully were beginning to wonder. They needed to get back to Monstropolis before one of those kids touched them. It is getting late, Mike said. Do you think any of the doors back to the scare floor are still in use? I sure hope so, Sully said. Then Mike and Sully noticed a house with no one around. The front door was flung wide open. Maybe this was their ticket home. Come on, let's go, cried Sully. Mike and Sully tiptoed inside the house, but as they crept toward a door, They heard sounds of talking and laughter. The house wasn't empty like they'd thought. "Oh no," Sully said when he realized what was going on. "We're in the middle of a party," Mike exclaimed. "Whoa," said someone behind Mike and Sully. The two spun around. A boy stood there staring at them. "Cool Halloween costumes." Mike and Sully slowly began to back away. Mike," said Sully. "It's Halloween?" "Oops," said Mike. "I guess I missed that memo." "Hey," the boys called to his friends. "Come check out these cool monster costumes." Mike and Sully shrank backward as a group of children approached them. "Your costumes look so real," a little girl exclaimed. "Can I touch the fur?" She reached a hand towards Sully. Mike shrieked. "No!" Sully roared. Sully had forgotten how big and frightening he was. The kids screamed at the top of their lungs and ran away. But Mike and Sully were the most terrified of all. "Let's get out of here," Mike shouted. He and Sully turned and ran. Mike pulled Sully into the closest bedroom, and slammed the door behind them. "Please, please let this door work," Mike said. "What are the chances George is using this door?" asked Sully. "Slim," said Mike, "but we have to try." Mike and Sully crossed their fingers. Then they opened the closet door and it worked. They walked back onto the scare floor at Monsters, Inc. Mike and Sully breathed huge sighs of relief. They'd made it home safe. On the other side, they found George and Charlie. "What are you guys doing coming through this door?" asked George. "I was just about to scare the kid on the other side." "You saved us," said Sully. "Our door was broken." "Oops," Charlie said. "We thought you left it on by accident and we shut it down. Sorry." "It's okay," Mike said. "We're back now. But whatever you do not go through that door." "Why not?" George asked. "It's Halloween and there are kids everywhere," Sully explained. Mike shivered. Halloween is the scariest day ever. The end. I hope you have a good night and sweet dreams.